Do you like crunchies? Do you like beer? Then this video is for you, because today we're reviewing this Vocation Honeycomb Chocolate Stout. It's a crunchy in a can, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. It's Stout Week. So, Stout number 2. This is a Vocation and it is a Honeycomb Chocolate Stout. Got this one from Sainsbury's, £3.50. Pretty good value, really, for a stout. Percentage-wise, we're looking at 7%. So, not too bad. Not the lowest, but not right up there. So, hopefully a sweet spot. And sweet could be the operative word for this beer. So there seems to be a few of these sort of chocolate bars that are sort of into a stout. We've had, the last one we had from Northern Monk was almost like, supposed to be like a Snickers really. This one's a crunchy. I've also got another one coming which is also a crunchy. So it's going to be interesting to see which one's the best out of those two, because they both pretty much do the same thing. But obviously supermarket, bit cheaper, so we'll see what the quality's like. But it is Vocation, and Vocation make very good beers. I poured this out a bit quickly because look at the state of that head. You don't usually get that sort of head. I've got 3 fingers of sort of, I mean, it's a sort of tan, but it's quite light. It's quite compacted. They're bubbling away there, so I don't think that's going to sit around. But it is jet black, really, really black there. You can see that on the screen. Let's see what the aromas are like. Well, I mean, again, chocolate malts, that's what you're getting. You're getting that maltiness, the chocolate's in there. A little bit sweeter, a little bit creamier, a bit more milk chocolate rather than sort of dark chocolate. But I'm not really picking up any of the honeycomb at all. So, see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. It's quite soft, low levels of carbonation, but it's quite light. It doesn't have that oily, greasy sort of texture. So whether that's a good or bad thing, but you get that more with the Imperial Stouts. This one's a bit lighter, but it's not overly carbonated. Was it Vocation just Sweet Temptation? I can't think if it is. Maybe, but that one, I always felt that a bit too fizzy, but this isn't that fizzy at all. It's a nice head there retained. I've just poured a little bit more into it. The head is well retained, really, for a stout. I'm getting light chocolatey malts. There's a slight bit of carbonation. Now I'm picking it up a little bit. I think it's just because it's so light. It doesn't sort of coat the mouth like a lot of, like an Imperial Stout would. It sort of dances around on the back of the palate, really. It's not too bad, actually. In fact, I'd almost say this was better than the Northern Monk one because it's just lighter. It's easy to drink. It's chocolatey. There's chocolate malts in there. But in terms of the honeycomb, in terms of, can I imagine this being like a crunchy in a glass? Not at all, really. The honeycomb it's very difficult to pick out. There is a little bit, maybe, because it's got this chocolatiness, and obviously the maltiness in there as well. And then there's on the back end, there's a little bit of sort of, I suppose you could almost, it's almost like a burnt sugar. And I suppose what's honeycomb if it isn't burnt sugar? So maybe there is a little bit of that on the back, but it doesn't have that real sweetness, really. It's got that slightly bitter sort of burnt sugar flavour opposed to a sort of a sweet honeycomb flavour. It's not bad though. And I'm actually going to say that this one is better than the Northern Monk one. It's just a lot more drinkable. There's not that sort of bitter licoricey sort of ness on the back end. It's smooth, and it's light, which usually for a stout lightness, yeah, you don't really want that. But this is actually, it makes it a lot easier to drink for me, and it doesn't feel heavy and boozy, which like Imperial Stouts can do. And this is a sort of beer that I could drink I could drink this and then I could drink some other beers as well, where I always feel with an Imperial Stout, it's almost like, that's it. It's all I want to drink is just that. I don't want to drink anything else after that at all. But this one, I could quite easily drink something else. It's light, it's refreshing. I mean, refreshing, is that the right word for a stout? Not really, but it doesn't overwhelm those senses. The maltiness, the chocolate malts don't sort of just coat the mouth. The texture of it, although is soft, is quite light as well. It's just a shame you're not getting that sort of real sweet honeycomb flavour that's coming through. But it's not bad. So, Vocation chocolate honeycomb stout. I mean, you call it a chocolate stout. That's what you'd think it was. Let's see what it just says on the can here. It says, a sticky sweet stout with honeycomb flavours and a creamy deep malt base. It's luxurious, smooth and deliciously Moorish. I can agree with some of that, but I wouldn't say it's got this sort of sticky sweet. There's not really that sticky sweet. It's chocolatey with a sort of burnt sugarness to it, a slightly bitterness, but it's so light it doesn't have time to sort of just sit and coat the mouth. Not bad though. It's worth a £3.50 from Sainsbury's, certainly. But let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Vocation Honeycomb Chocolate Stout. It says Vocation Special Edition. 7% ABV. Not bad, really. Not bad at all for £3.50 from Sainsbury's. But we'll start with the aroma. Well, with a lot of these stouts, I'm getting chocolatey malt. It's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit lighter chocolate. It's more milky chocolate than it is like a dark chocolate. It smells pretty good and quite inviting, but I'm not really picking up much of that honeycomb at all. But I'm giving it 12 for aroma. Appearance, well, jet black. The head we've got a nice little bit of retaining of head. Some nice lace in the glass. I think it looks pretty good for a stout. I like them with a little bit more frothiness on the top. So I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour wise, there's lots, like the aroma, you're getting a creamy chocolate and that sort of malt profile that you get with a lot of stouts. Whether that's the chocolate, because obviously chocolate malt is used in this. So you get a lot of chocolatey flavours and a very malty flavour. Whether you're really picking up the honeycomb and whether you think it tastes like a crunchy, it doesn't. It does not taste like a crunchy. It's not really sweet. It's not... The milk chocolate isn't that milky and creamy, really. There's no... I don't think... Oh, there may be probably added vanilla in this. I'm trying to read the can, but it doesn't actually... It doesn't give me too much information whether there is vanilla in it. I don't think there is. So you're not getting that creamy, milky sort of flavour, really, and the crunchy. And of course, the honeycomb it's just there's not that sweetness. There is a little bit of a something on the back end, which I think is more like a sort of burnt sugar, which is a little bit like honeycomb, I suppose. But I wouldn't call it honey flavoured. I wouldn't say it's as light and as sweet as that. So I'm marking it down a little bit in terms of flavour because of its there's not much honeycomb. It'd be interesting to see whether the Bristol Brewery sort of crunchy sort of, I think that's called a cinder toffee. So a slightly different description, but it's pretty much trying to do exactly what this does. Whether that's got a bit more of the honeycomb in it, but it's certainly in terms of the mouthfeel, it's light for a stout, but it makes it easy to drink, quite soft, it's not bad at all. The carbonation is low. It was the Vocation Sweet Temptation was the other stout that was in the supermarkets. Probably still is. Haven't seen it for a while. I haven't really been looking for it, to be honest. I found that one too fizzy, but this one is, in terms of its sort of its mouthfeel, it's pretty spot on, I think. So I'm giving it 32 for flavour. Value for money. Well, a £3.50 7% stout from Sainsbury's, I think that's pretty good value. I mean, you pay a lot more for stouts. It's not an imperial stout, but it's at the high end. It's 7%. It's not like, I've seen stouts at 5%, which is sort of kind of ridiculous. So I think it's very good value for money. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for value. And my overall experience, well, it's a lot more drinkable than an imperial stout I had from Northern Monk. It's lighter. It's chocolatey. Just a little bit disappointing there's not much honeycomb in it. But it's a much more easier drink, a bit more. It's moreish when you taste it. You know, I will drink all of this one. I mean, this Imperial Stout was very heavy going. It was very boozy. This one, you're not really feeling that 7% ABV in it at all, and I think that's better for it. So I'm giving it 13 for overall experience. Tighten those scores up, we get a recommended 74 out of 100. It's a White Snake beer. Slide it down, slow and easy. It's still 7%, still, you know, still pretty strong, but it's light and it's chocolatey and it's worthwhile. I mean, let me know if you've had this before. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Is there a stout that's better? I mean, I'm interested. The new Bristol one, which will be coming up in a day or so. I'm interested to see if that one's going to be different, a bit more. I want more honeycomb. I want more of that crunchy flavour, but it's still not bad. Pick it up from a Sainsbury's for £3.50, worth your money. 74 out of 100, recommended beer. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're enjoying this sort of stout week that we're doing. It's a bit different. It's certainly different for me. I don't drink as many. I'm drinking more stouts this week than I've drank the whole year, basically. But, you know, it's winter time. It's Christmas. That's the time for stouts. So until the next one, please like and subscribe if you like the content I am providing for you. And until the next one, keep on rocking.